Meeting. Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Rashid Hussain, and I'll be teaching you this financial reporting paper, which is F7 or FR. And this is the paper of the skills level. We know there are levels within the ACCA. So we have the knowledge, and we have the skills, and then we have the professional level. Now, when it comes to the financial reporting, which is FR. So the base paper which you have studied is financial accounting. Like if you're coming from the ACCA stream, then you have studied this financial accounting, which was your FA/F3. So the financial reporting base was made in your financial accounting paper. And then when you're done with this financial reporting paper, the next paper, which is again an essential paper, there's no choice in that, it is compulsory paper. It is going to be the strategic business reporting. So strategic business reporting is basically the SBR. So this financial reporting exam, which you are doing right now, is very, very important, because after this paper, you have to do the strategic business reporting as well. And I can tell you one more thing, that after this financial reporting paper, right after that, there's an audit and assurance paper as well. And that audit and assurance paper requires the knowledge of this financial reporting exam. And similarly, when you are done with the financial reporting and you're appearing in the strategic business reporting, so you can say that 50% of the syllabus is same. The testing is different, but the knowledge is same. The standards which you will be studying, I'll be explaining you in a while, the IS 16, IS 20, 23, all the standards are there. The testing criteria is different, but the knowledge is same. So you can say approx 50% is the same knowledge that you will be having in the strategic business reporting exam. So financial reporting paper is very, very important, because right after financial reporting exam, you have to appear in the audit and assurance paper, which requires the knowledge of FR, and then the strategic business reporting. One more thing, like obviously you're doing ACCA, and then you'll be joining a profession, you'll be becoming a professional accountant, you may be working somewhere, or for example, you're going for your own firm. Remember the two papers which are very, very important for your career is this financial reporting, and the other paper is the audit. The rest of the papers are important, but not that much, because for example, the law paper was just, to get the legal understanding of the things. For example, the claimant, the defendant, the court structure, the employment law, and the corporate law. So you're not going to become the lawyer. You have just studied one paper for the legal understanding. Similarly, you have studied the PM thing, the performance management. And most of us, do not join the costing profession, becoming the cost accountants or the cost auditors. We do not usually follow that particular field, although we studied that paper, and that is very important as well. You're doing the costing thing, then variance analysis and budgeting. That is part of your daily life. But if that is a separate field, we have the cost accountants for that. We have the management accountants for that. Usually we do not follow this stuff. Similarly, the tax paper, if you have done the UK variant, and maybe you're working somewhere else in the world, so that UK tax will not apply. So although that give you the understanding of the taxation, and you just need to see the rates if you even go to any other country, but that tax paper is just, a one-off paper. Maybe you do not select the advanced taxation in your strategic professional level exam. But yes, again, that gives you knowledge, but yes, it is not that much practical. But these papers, specifically which you are talking about currently, the financial reporting exam, is the paper that is most relevant to you when you join the audit firm. And when you're joining the audit firm, they take your interviews, they take your test. Most of the testing, most of the question in the interviews belongs to this topic. They ask you, okay, what is your knowledge regarding the property, plant, equipment? What do you know regarding deferred tax? What do you know regarding financial instruments? So most of the interviews that you're going to face in your career, either it's a written test or, for example, the verbal interviews, they're going to ask question mostly from this paper and the audit paper. They may ask you the question from other papers as well, but I'm talking about particularly these two papers. So usually we join this field, becoming an accountant, becoming financial controller, finance manager. So we daily see these things, accounting for the assets, accounting for the liabilities, accounting for the equities and similar transactions. So that means you should have two intentions. The first intention should be passing the exam, which is the first priority, because the first priority should be the exam. And the second thing is the practical life as well. And you should remember this thing, whatever I'm saying, that in your profession, you're mostly judged. Your competence is mostly judged on how good you are in these financial reporting standards. So make sure you are aware of these things. So in the exam, you need the knowledge of this financial reporting, and in the practical life as well. So these are the two important things. Okay, now coming towards the course and how we are going to take this course. That is something very important. So first of all, you have the standards, and some of that you have already studied in your financial accounting exam, but I'm not going to take anything for granted. We'll be studying from the scratch. So we have, just writing in sequence, and I'm going to write the standards which are going to be tested. IS2, which is inventory, and then we have the IS8, which is accounting policies, accounting estimates, and errors. And then we have the IS10, which is events after the reporting date. Then we have the IS12, which is taxation. Then we have 16, which is property, plant, and equipment. Then we have 20, which is the government grants. Then we have 21, which is the effects of the changes in the foreign exchange rates. Then we have the 23, which is the borrowing cost. And then moving further, I'm not going to write the consolidation standard. I'll write in those standards in the head of the consolidation. Okay, then you move towards IS 33, which is earnings per share. Then you have IS 36, which is impairment. Then you have IS 37, which is provisions, contingent assets, and contingent liabilities. Then you have intangible assets, which is IS 38. Okay, then you have IS 40, which is investment property. And within the IS last one, which is the agriculture, biological assets and agriculture thing. So IS 41. So these are the IS. We do have IS 1, but that is, presentation of the financial statements. So we will be discussing that when making the financial statement for the single entities and the consolidated financial statements as well. So these are the IS. And pardon me if I have missed something, but yes, these are the numbers which you're going to do. Okay, then we have the IFRS, International Financial Reporting Standards. So this is International Accounting Standard. This is International Financial Reporting Standards. So we have the IFRS 5, which is non-current asset held for sale. We have the IFRS 9, which is financial instruments. Although when it comes to financial instruments, we have IS 32, which deals with the presentation. We have IFRS 7, which deals with the disclosures of the financial instruments. And then we have this IFRS 9. But obviously, we are going to discuss this only because this covers the accounting treatment of the financial instruments. Okay, then we have the IFRS 13, which is fair value measurement. Then we have IFRS 15, which is the revenue from the contracts with customers. And then we have IFRS 16, which is the leases. So you see, these are the standards, IAS and IFRS. Now, from these standards, you may have the question in the section A, you may have the question in the section B, and also you will be having the adjustments from these standards in the section C as well. So these standards can be tested in all areas of the exam, section A, B, and C. Okay, then we have the consolidation. Again, this is the topic which you have already studied in the financial accounting exam. Consolidation. So we have the consolidated statement of financial position. We have the consolidated statement of profit or loss. We have the associates, and we have the disposal of subsidiary. And when it comes to the standards, we have, the IAS 28, accounting for associates. And then we have the IFRS 3, which is, the business combinations. And then we have the IFRS 10 for the consolidation. So when it comes to these standards, so from these standards in the exam, again, you may have the objective test case questions, or when you have the question from the single entity financial statement. When we have the single entity financial statement question, you will be having the adjustments from these standards. Okay, so then you have the consolidation, consolidated statement of financial position, profit or loss. Again, when it comes to consolidation, so you may have the objectives and also the constructed, this is the CR question, constructed response question. That means the case study, constructed response question, case study. Okay, so then you have the statement of the cash flows. Again, this is the topic that you have already studied in your F3 exam, financial accounting exam. And then you have the interpretation of the financial statement, which means the ratios and the analysis. So again, from the statement of cash flow, the same thing, objectives and the CR question, and again, interpretation of the financial statements. So if you're thinking that every area is examinable, so yes, the answer is every area is examinable. Because when you talk about the constructed response question, CR question, so there are two CR questions in the exam, two CR questions, constructed response question. Now there are four topics. We have the single entity financial statements. We have the consolidated financial statements. We have the statement of the cash flows, and then we have the interpretation of the financial statements, ratios and the analysis. So nowadays, examiner has a norm of clubbing these two questions. Like for example, they may give you the consolidated financial statement and they club with the statement of cash flow. Or for example, the statement of cash flows is being clubbed with the single entity financial statements. Or the ratios and the cash flow is being clubbed. So examiner can do anything. So you do not have any option to skip the chapters. So the four topics, and this is 20 marks each. 20 marks each. So we are done with the discussion of the constructed response question. Now coming towards the section A and B. Just a minute. Okay, so first of all, we have the section A. And then we have the section B. Okay, in the section A, we have the 15 objectives at the rate of 2, which gives you 30 marks. And then here we have the 3 case questions at the rate of 10 marks each. Again, it gives you 30. and 3 case questions. So within the case question, there are 5 options, 5 questions, or that is multiplied by 2. So each case question worth 10 marks, and then you multiply it by 3 to give you 30. So section A and B is for 60, and then you have these 20 marks to constructed response question, which include these 4 topics: single entity financial statements, consolidated financial statement, statement of cash flows, and then we have the interpretation of the financial statements. So this is the F7 syllabus. So we have the topics. There's one more topic as well, which is the conceptual framework. So we have the section A, B, and C, the standards, and then the consolidation, one topic, statement of cash flow, second topic, third topic is interpretation, and then we have the single entity financial statement, which includes a trial balance, and we are supposed to make the single entity financial statement. Now, the study resources that you should use is, first of all, my lectures alongside my notes, and then you should take the Kaplan textbook for personal reading, and then the Kaplan exam kit for the practice. So these are the resources that you should use. So if you're appearing in September attempt, so you're starting now, and the course must end by 20th of August, so that you should appear in the mock exams, and then you should make yourself comfortable with the topics, doing revisions and things like that. So this is all about F7. Now do you have any question? Winston, Yusuf, do you have any question? Oh, the fee arrangements, you need to talk with the administration, those who have given you the links, talk with them. And because I'll be teaching, I'm not into these things, so you can talk with them. And you can also ask for the demos, and then you can join the lectures accordingly. All right, see you then. Take care. You can discuss rest of the things with the administration. Take care.